So what have we got down this passage here? I see we have a window and a piece of paper. Seems kind of a little bit oriental in style. Each panel here adds a new person to the mix. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but I don't see how this can help us right now. I mean, we haven't really seen anything that looks like this, have we? Well, we can't take a picture of it, it seems, so I guess we're just going to have to leave it there. Ooh, this looks familiar. Wonder what's behind this. What's it connected to? A candle machine? Well, there's something that can go in the slot here, and earlier we picked up some coins. It doesn't really show the pile here, but there was a big pile that we got in Minnie-Andis' house. So what happens if we put one in? Oh, okay. Turns the candle white. And it turns it off. Oh, I guess we have to put another coin in to turn it back on, huh? Well, thankfully you've got unlimited coins. But what happens if we put more coins in? Does that do anything? Oh, it changes the color. So we can go from white to yellow to green. How far does this go? Red. Blue. And back to white again. And we can only assume that the others do the same. Looks like it. So what exactly is the point of all this? Well, you may think that we haven't seen anything related to this puzzle before, but there actually is a room we visited that features all 5 of these colors. And that room is the Chimney House painting room. We also have a map here of the southern part of RHEM, although it's kind of a little bit late to make use of this. I mean, this is where we came in, and this yellow panel here is where we put the golden fragments. And based on what we've seen so far, these yellow dots appear to be the locations of the other golden fragments. This one over here is the one we got in the bell tower area. And then over here, this seems to be the one that's right next to where we are right now. I guess we can take a picture of that, just to complete the collection at least. But let's go check out that chimney painting room. We also have this passage over here, but we'll look at that here in a little bit. Now earlier, you might recall that we saw a clue to this puzzle in Kalis' room, and it showed our cursor with lines emanating out of it pointing to the chimneys, 5 different chimneys. Let's see, 5, 3, 1. Ooh, that's a nice combo. Man, I wish we had something like that all the time. 5, 3, 1. Okay. Now this painting right here is the only one that has all 5 chimneys. So what happens if we touch these? Okay, so we can set these to one of the 5 colors. And we noted earlier that each of these houses has 1 chimney each, and it's located at a different spot, you can see right here. So much like the stone puzzle in the statue area at Minnie-Andis' house, we can go from left to right and come up with our solution. Green, red, yellow, blue, and then white. There we go, and we heard something move. Oh, okay. The shutters are now all open. They weren't before, but each house seems to have a different design. This one has no lines on it. Green has a vertical line. Red has a horizontal line. Yellow has both lines. And blue has a horizontal line with a half a vertical line. And you'll notice that now this thing is on too. Earlier we didn't see anything down here and this diamond wasn't here. But let's see what we can do with this. Okay, so these appear to be controls to move this thing around. This one goes down, this is left, this is up, and this is right. So, what's up with this? I mean, it just shows a different window pattern here. Well, what you're supposed to figure out is that each of these squares corresponds to a different color. And we can base that on which of these squares corresponds with what color. For instance, this is red, blue, green, white, yellow, white, yellow, red, green, blue, green, yellow, white, red, blue, red, green, blue, white, and yellow. And then finally we have white, red, yellow, blue, and green. So all 5 of the colors are represented in each row and column. Kind of like Sudoku, I suppose. But we can't really interact with this here. So what exactly are we supposed to use this for? Well, remember that those candles were located at different heights. So if we were to determine the relative height of each candle in relation to each other, and then assign each one of them a color, we might be able to open up that cabinet where the golden fragment presumably is. So let's go back through door number 1 and see what we can do. Okay, I did not see that first light because the game was being slow. Try that again. 1, 3, 5. Ooh, the reverse of earlier. Nice. Okay. So let's try our candle settings and see what we can come up with. And hopefully we'll find the right solution here based on the information we've gotten. Okay, so the first candle needs to be blue. We've actually already got the second candle correct. Unfortunately, you do have to keep going through the cycle here to make the inventory here to cycle through all the colors. Whoops, that's annoying. Green, and this is the bottommost one, which is red, and I think that's the one that takes the longest to get to. Oh, no, I guess it's blue. Well, thankfully this one is just the second color. None of them are white, which is interesting. Okay, that should be the right answer. And we got another fragment. Let's see, which one's this? Fragment 7. Alright, well now, let's go check out this other pathway over here. Ooh, we got 8 buttons, and they go everywhere. There are wires that lead to them here, and then there are green ones that go over into this door. So presumably we need to do something relating to these buttons and whatever they connect to open this door up, right? Alright, let's see where they all connect to. Paintings? This kind of reminds me of RHEM 3 in that gallery area. So, what's this all about? Okay, so there are paintings, and then what do we got here at the end? We got some trees, some panels that we can't open, and some numbers we can set, and a lever, and something happens, we don't know what, and some stone that got caught up here. Alright, we don't really know exactly what all this is for, but let's start with something that we can do here. There's something that needs an object here in each of these painting slots. Let's go back to the very first one. This device is actually what we need to put in here. We heard 3 tones. We haven't really heard those tones anywhere else before. Whoops. Please ignore that. Seriously? Get out of there. Here we go. Okay, well the truth is we don't really know what any of this stuff is for. What happens if we press a button? Well, nothing seemed to have happened. Okay, well we're going to need more information for this puzzle. And this is one of those puzzles that's really difficult to piece together, at least I thought it was. As it turns out, there is something that we haven't really used yet in our inventory that we can use right now, and that object is the key. Now, earlier we saw a door in that hut thing that you could reach from the 6-door room at the beginning. And it was pretty obvious that we needed a key for that. But this particular key, it's not exactly obvious where you're supposed to use this. 791. Ugh. Okay, well at least we got a 1 in there. But as it turns out, you're supposed to use it in this room. In that little cabinet thing with the horn in it and the 3 levers. And I guess it sort of makes sense considering that we got this key in a cabinet in Menendez's house that had these dial things, these circle things with the Roman numerals on them. Or I guess they're tally marks since this isn't really the Roman number for 4. But I guess you could use that to infer that the key goes into this little slot right here. So that is where it goes. This is basically a wind-up device. And right now we have all the levers here at the top positions. And when we turn the key, we can hear 3 tones, much like we did in the paintings. In this case, they were high, 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 like the levers are. Now, what you're supposed to figure out here is that once you play the tones, you can look to these dials to see what they read. And we have a 1 and a 4, which equal 5. Now keep in mind that with these 3 levers, there are 8 different permutations that you could set them to. And as a result, they will most likely add up to one of 8 different numbers. So let's keep going through all the combinations. Let's see, I'll go low, high, high. Now the thing about this is that once you do this and you don't press or turn the key, then this will not do anything. So you have to play the tones. Alright, low, high, high. We have 3 and another 3, so that's 6. Okay, what about low, low, high? Four and 4, so that's 8, and it should be the highest. And low, low, low. One and 1, that equals 2. Great. Okay, so what about high, low, low? Okay, we got 1 and nothing. Okay, so that's just 1. High, high, low. 1 plus 3, that equals 4. Low, high, low. 3 plus nothing, so that's just 3. And finally, let's invert that to high, low, high. And by process of elimination, we can figure out that this is 3 plus 4, and that's 7. Okay, so we got a bunch of numbers that we've assigned to these tones, but how exactly does this work in relation to the paintings? I mean, there isn't exactly something that connects the paintings to numbers, is there? Oh, that is the most ideal combination ever. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad we got this in the LP. Well, you may think that there's nothing that connects the paintings to numbers, but there is one clue that may suggest otherwise, and that is the oriental drawing that we saw earlier, in which something gets added to each picture up to 8, much as we've been doing here with the tones. See, we start off with 1, we go to 8. And this is pretty hard to figure out if you're not like super eagle-eye observant and don't experiment around too much. But what you're supposed to figure out is that pressing these buttons actually does something. Let me show you what I mean here. Let's follow this painting right here. Let's see, the wire comes out, goes through there. Let's see, it should be this one, which goes here. Okay, so press that. Notice anything different? It's really difficult to detect, but there was a new ring that got added to her finger. Let me do that again, just so you can see. And see, now she's got 5 rings. And now she has, wait a minute, yeah, there we go, 6 rings. So if I press this 2 more times, she's going to have 8 rings. Like such. As it turns out, the number that we want to use for this painting is connected to the tone associated with it, or the series of tones, rather. That's high, high, low, which is associated with 4, so let's just press this button 4 more times. And pretty much we need to repeat this for every painting. So let's just keep going here. I'm going to go down the women here. You'll notice that there are women on this side and men on this side. So let's go down to painting 2, to this woman with the pearls here, and let's figure out what this one does. The wire for this goes through here. It's the bottom of these 2, and then it curves down, well not curves, but it goes down there. Zigzags more like it, and it goes all the way there. So let's press that once, see what we can find out. Can you spot the difference? There's 1 extra leaf that got added here to her chesty area. So this tone, let's see what this one is. Alright, and that is high, low, high, which is 7. So we need to have 7 leaves on there, which means that we need to press this 4 more times. Good, alright, so that should be 7 leaves. Yep. I guess the 8th one would go up there. Alright, let's move on to this lady right here. High, low, low, which is assigned to 1. And, oh wait, we need to trace this one, don't we? Okay, so it comes out through here, and it goes across? Well, that's kind of curious. So it goes across, and then it goes up through there, and then it ends up being the top one of the 2 there, and then it goes up the arch and then goes through here, and oh my goodness, this one just goes everywhere, doesn't it? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's this one. So what changed with this? Well, there's 1 more of these dangling beads here on her necklace that wasn't there before. 8 here, so we need just to press the button 1 more time to get that right. There we go, we have 1 bead now. You gotta wonder how these paintings work exactly. Alright, so now for this one. Low, high, low, that is number 3. So this is the only wire that goes through this wall, and then comes out here, goes through that. It's also the only wire that comes out this wall. And it's the bottom one of this, and then it goes through the bottom there, and then it goes through the middle section of this wall, and then it comes out here. Okay. Probably kind of obvious which thing in the picture changes. It's the coins. So we just need to press the button twice more to make this work. Okay, that should be correct. So now, let's take care of the guys. Start with this guy with the hat right here. Alright, that is low, low, high, which is the sound for 8. So the wire for him goes to the right, and then goes around, and then it's this one there, the top of those bottom 2. And it goes here. Okay, so it's this one. Let's see what that does. Okay, it increased the number of flowers by 1, and we need 8, so let's press that 3 more times. Alright, great, we got 8 flowers. Simple enough. Let's move on to this guy here with the quill in his hand. Low, low, low. That is 2 associated with that. And we need to trace that, don't we? Okay, so this guy goes up through the top of this wall. And then he emerges out this way. And then he crosses over there and he goes through the middle. And then from the middle, he goes to this button. Okay, this one's kind of a little tricky, but the number of lapel strips here on his jacket increased by 1. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's press that 2 or 3 more times. Let's see, that button is this one. Make sure we got it right. Yep, okay, we got 2 lapel strips. And then we have this guy here. He kind of looks like a woman, but it actually is a man with red hair. Low, high, high, that is the tone sequence associated with 6. And let's follow the trail here. I was about to say trail and path, and I said like traff. I hate it when I do that. So top one here, then it continues to be the top one, and then that leads right here. Okay. One more rope got added here to his chest. So we need 2 more in order to equal 6. Alright, that should be correct. We got 6 ropes on his chest. And finally we have this wigged guy. And technically we don't even need to do this because we know what the number here is and which button is the last one. But I'll trace it for you anyway. We go through here, it's the bottom of those 2. And then he goes down, and then the bottom of these 2. And then we go through here. This reminds me so much of RHEM 2 and tracing all those pipes and stuff. And we end up here, and it's the number 8. So what exactly does this change? Buttons, okay. We need 1 more button, and he should be good to go. Hopefully that does it. What? Okay, let me double check on my work. Okay, so this guy needs 8 oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, that's number 5. My bad. My bad, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. I was reading my notes wrong.